Hey guys, welcome to EduTap, and here is lecture number 11 under the fast track series. So this fast track series is important for RBI Gr B and NABARD Gr A 2019 examinations, and this is a video series which has been brought to you by EduTap. So let me just quickly tell you what are we aiming to cover through this series. See, first of all, we'll be covering economics and social issues, current affairs, which are relevant for RBI and NABARD both. And we are also covering finance and current affairs for RBI and NABARD again. Apart from these two things, let me just tell you that we are also running a separate series called as ARD in News, which is particularly important for the NABARD examination. So in case you are appearing for NABARD, you have to refer to that particular series for the coverage of ARD. So today we are going to cover October 1st, 2nd and 3rd, and we have covered all the days of September. I guess you guys have seen all those videos. So let us just start with ESI news first, and then we'll move on to finance, and also we are going to try and solve various MCQs which are important from your examination point of view and from these news only. Okay. So our very first news is IMF, World Bank and WTO, that is World Trade Organization, seek the removal of barriers to service trade. Now see, first of all, this is particularly important because this is the first time that these three organizations, which have a very important role in the global governance, now these three have come together and they have released this report called as Reinvigorating Trade and Inclusive Growth. So this report is particularly important, and as these three have come together for the first time, that is why. And now let me tell you the background particularly. See, this report seeks to remove the barrier, that is the liberalization of the global service sector, and India being a leader in the service sector, this becomes important for us. So the report, let us see what this report has laid down various things. So the key findings are, the report has stated that full services trade liberalization could actually raise the manufacturing productivity by an average of 22%. So see, as you know that India is a leader in the services sector, but we are lagging behind in the manufacturing sector. So that is why this becomes important for us, and also various trade areas have been identified by this report, so that which will actually lead to the productivity growth and economic growth overall. So that is why this is important. And secondly, let me tell you that this digital economy, or you can say the fourth digital revolution, is taking place nowadays, and this is opening new opportunities for the cross-border trade. And in the background of, as we have seen in our previous videos, we have learned that there was a kind of trade war going on between countries like USA, China, even India had put some sanctions. So these are the things, it is known as the trade war which is going on, and in that particular background, this report by these three such important organizations become very much important for us. So yes, that would be it from this news. Let us move on. Okay. Second is about this Good Samaritan Protection Bill. Now, President has given his assent, and Karnataka has become the first state to pass the Good Samaritan Protection Bill. Now, who is a Good Samaritan? See, a person, when he helps an injured person or any victim of the accident, is known as the Good Samaritan, and he takes him to the hospital or he registers him to the police station. So that is why this becomes important, and the protection is being here given to the good Samaritans, that is the citizens who are helping their fellows. So that is why this is important, and this bill is going to encourage people to offer first aid to victims. So usually we have seen a lot of fear about the legal processes which one has to go through, or one has to go to the hospital and get the person registered, and he has to do a lot of things, like he has to do the registrations in the police station also. So that is why people, we have seen, they just avoid themselves and they do not go to help any victim. So here it will be a lot of help, and let us see some important features of this bill. So medically, the golden hour is the first hour after traumatic injury when the emergency treatment is crucial. So that particular hour after the accident when the treatment is required is known as the golden hour. And when a good Samaritan or a citizen helps the victim in that particular golden hour, he is termed as Good Samaritan, and financial help would be provided through the Karnataka government particularly to those people. and the bill says that the repeated attendance in the courts and police stations would be exempted, and even if they have to do so, the expenses of the running to courts and police station would be taken care of by the fund which is going to be built on. And this law commission's report, that is 201st report, is important, which had mentioned about this golden hour and its relevance. So that is it. This news is particularly from your social issues section, and that is why it is important. And let me just tell you that Karnataka has become the first state to do so, and it is also one of the top states that record the deaths in the road accidents. So just these are important things, and you need to keep all these things in mind. Okay. So next news is about the Asian Development Bank. So ADB and India have signed this $150 million loan agreement to improve the regional connectivity. So in our previous video, we saw that ADB had given a loan to Madhya Pradesh government for setting a Madhya Pradesh skill park, for which is going to be useful for the youth of the state. And now ADB has again signed a loan to improve the regional connectivity. So let me just tell you the background. See, ADB, Asian Development Bank, is particularly helping the countries through this SESEC project. Now, what is this SESEC project? It's South Asia Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation Project, and the South Asian particular countries like Myanmar, Bangladesh, and the eastern part of India is particularly being helped through this connectivity program. So this SESEC is important, and now this connectivity loan to be given is under the tranche 2 project. So this Imphal More section, that is Manipur section, then a international bridge between India and Nepal, and a state highway is also going to be built. So these are not that much relevant. You just to know about this SESEC project particularly. And here I have mentioned that ADB through its project is helping the remote villages so as to provide them the crucial services and markets in the 5 states. So these 5 states are Assam, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, and West Bengal. So these are the 5 states which are the focus area under this SESEC project. So yes, that would be it. Keep this in mind, ADB and SESEC project, and yes, that would be it. Okay, another important news. Government has constituted a committee for the competition law review. Now, this committee has been formulated by government, and it is going to be headed by Injeti Srinivas. Are you guys able to recall? We just learned in our previous video that Injeti Srinivas is also going to head the Corporate Social Responsibility Committee. So again, Injeti Srinivas here. So this competition law review committee will basically review the Competition Act. So Competition Commission of India becomes important for us, and just go through that Competition Commission of India once. So what are the terms of the reference of this particular review committee? So they will review the act, rules and regulation in terms of the dynamic business environment which is changing. Then to look into the best practices, like whatever the practices are being adopted by other nations, that will also be seen here, and other regimes. So these are the things that is important, and this name is important for us because Competition Commission of India and all these things are directly related to our economic section, and that is why this news is here. Okay. WHO launches first global guidelines on sanitation and health. So World Health Organization has come up with its first global guidelines, and this is particularly important because India faces a lot of problem in this section, and we are doing a lot in the section to improve particularly the sanitation and health of the citizens. So if countries adopt these new guidelines, they'll be able to reduce the diarrheal deaths due to unsafe water. So India has this problem due to unsafe water, sanitation and hygiene. Diarrheal deaths are there in India also, and we have also seen that India also has the largest share of the TB patients. So this becomes important. You can just go through it, that this particular global guideline is going to be directly helpful for a sustainable development goal. So we have 17 sustainable development goals starting from 2015, and a 15-year target, that is 2030. We have to attain the goals, and India is doing its best to attain these goals, and Niti Aayog is functioning as the nodal agency for the Sustainable Development Goals. So SDG 6 is particularly related to health and sanitation. You can see here clean water and sanitation, and all these first three targets under SDG 6 relates to drinking water. So these are the basically goals, and under these goals there are various targets like 6.1, 6.2. You don't need to go in that much depth, just keep in mind that SDG 6 is related to particularly health and sanitation. And about this WHO guidelines. Okay, so there is one more news which is related to the finance section. Let us see that, and then we'll move on to your MCQ section. So BSE, that means Bombay Stock Exchange, has become the first stock exchange in India to launch the commodity derivative contracts. Now, this commodity derivative exchange was already going on through this multi-commodity exchange facility, but first stock exchange has become the Bombay Stock Exchange. So from now on, all the exchanges would be called as the stock exchanges. So on October 1st, 2018, BSE became the first exchange to launch these contracts in gold and silver. So commodity contracts were available in the MCX and NCDX, as I've told you, but now the stock exchange particularly is important, and the relevance is that the stock exchanges commodity derivatives are particularly important because India is a leading producer of several commodities, and if the exchange through these exchanges takes place of these commodities, then it can be a lot of help particularly. So India is the world's second largest consumer of gold, and we import gold a lot, and it particularly depends on the benchmark prices from abroad. That means what are the benchmark price abroad, it will be fixed on our import of the gold. So this particular thing will going to help us now. So just keep in mind this BSE, and NSE is also going to come up with these exchange contracts. So okay. So our first question is, report reinvigorating trade and inclusive growth seeks the liberalization of the global service sector. It has been released by which of the following organizations? So your organizations options are here. This report is particularly relevant. Try and solve it. Is it IMF, World Bank, World Trade Organization? None. There is some other organization which has released this report, or do you think all of them? So our answer is all of the above. So all these three organizations have come up with this report. Question number 2. Which of the following states has recently passed the Good Samaritan Protection Bill? Now it gives protection to Good Samaritans. So the options are Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh or Maharashtra. Solve the question. So our answer is Karnataka. Karnataka has become the first state to do so. Question number 3 is, government has recently constituted a competition law review committee to review the Competition Act. Which of the following personalities is going to head it? So just try and solve it. We have just seen about this particular personality who is going to head this competition review committee. Is it Amitabh Kant, Indresh Kumar, K. Vijay Raghavan, Injeti Srinivas or AJ Paulraj? Yes, our answer is D, that is Injeti Srinivas. Which of the following has become the first stock exchange in India to launch the commodity derivative contracts in gold and silver? Now this is also relevant particularly from the finance section. Just try and solve it. Is it Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, Multi Commodity Exchange, Bangalore Stock Exchange or none? So we had seen our answer is Bombay Stock Exchange. Last question of the day. World Health Organization has recently released its first global guidelines on sanitation and health. Which sustainable development goal is related to sanitation? So as I've already told you, these goals are important for us, and particularly if such news are also there. Is it SGG 16, 17, 6, 8 or 10? Try and solve it. Yes, our answer is SDG 6. So these are particularly the answers to the question. That's it, guys. We have covered October 1st, 2nd and 3rd from your fast track section, and in case you guys have any query, just drop us a mail at hello@edutap.co.in. This is our website. You can just visit our website www.edutap.co.in, and our contact number is 8146-207-241. You can call us or even WhatsApp us as per your convenience. That's it, guys. If you like this video, if you find the content useful, please do like and subscribe, and do share the video. And this is the link of the Telegram channel. Here you'll be able to locate the PDF of this lecture and all other lectures under the fast track series. And that would be it, guys, from this lecture. Thank you for being here. I wish you all a very happy learning.